Alright guys, what's up? It's Dave, Mr. White Ellis1. Thanks for joining me today. I recall last video I talked about the CB, excuse me, and so I went and bought this mount. I was just gonna buy this part and make a bracket, but the whole deal was like 12 bucks, so I was like, well, I'll just get the bracket. It's like a mirror bracket, so it can go mirror or flat mounted. So I'm gonna mount it on the front side of the box, something like that. So I'm gonna use some rivets, some aluminum rivets. So these guys here, and they work pretty good. They don't go in too far, and they hold up, and they're not gonna rust out. So I think it'll be good on that mount. So that mount, I should have enough clearance for the mount, and it should be good. So I just need to pull this box, pull the screws that are holding the box in, move it back, drill a couple holes, and install this sucker. And then I should be good to go, I think. I don't know. So I know that the coax goes on here, but I know that on my adapter I got, it actually has a little pin that goes up into the antenna, and this don't have that, but I don't know, maybe it doesn't need it. I don't know. But anyways, I asked the dude at the four-wheel parts, and he said, yeah, it's fine. So anyways, I guess we'll get to test it out on the trail on Friday. So another thing I need to do is I need to disconnect my front sway bar if I'm going to have any chance of running that trail with open diffs. So I don't know, I might just take it off of the axle and see if I can tie it up. I don't know, it's pretty heavy, so I don't know, I may need to I might end up just taking it off. I mean, it was never really on the K5 and I never really had an issue, but I mean, I like keeping it on the K10 because it definitely is more stable. Yeah, so anyways, I'll play it by ear. If I can pull out the bolts there's one there, and then there's one on the other side of that spring, that top mount for the U-bolts. Maybe I can just tie it up. If not, like I said, I'll just pull it out. I just need to pull the deals off there. I got the sucker mounted here, just 4 holes, 3/16 holes, and some little rivets. And just some aluminum rivets, so stand back here. I don't have too much problems with it really hitting the cab. I'll have to, it's not really going to hurt anything. You know, it's not like it's flopping against the, yeah, I mean, it has to go pretty far to hit the thing, so I ain't really worried about it. I guess I could put a little ball or something here, but I don't really think it's gonna hit anything. Make it hit it more. Anyways, I'll get down. Let me take a look at it. I like the way it looks. It's kind of tall, but as long as I get good signal out of it, then I'm not really caring. But you know, it's really just for the trail, so it don't really matter. So as far as this wiring goes, I'm just gonna loom the whole thing. That way it keeps the sun from tearing up that coax. But yeah, so yeah, it works for me. I also wanted to get out tonight, try this high lift. It is working good. This is a newer one that I bought. I haven't used it yet. My other one was on the back of the Blazer when I had built that mount for the spare tire carrier, and I backed into my workbench and I bent it. So this is a new one. I just want to make sure it works. So it is working. It's kind of sketchy here. It's like you wouldn't even use these unless you really have to. They're kind of scary because, you know, you can see, I mean, this is just, it's pretty much stock suspension. I mean, it's you know, like 2.5-inch blocks and 35s, but you can see that, you know, you got to get it up pretty tall to get those tires off the ground. So I do like the method where you put the strap around the wheel and you kind of lift the one side up. It seems a little bit more controlled. But anyways, it's just like a use at your own risk. Don't use it if you don't have to. One of those things. Alright guys, got the K10 like partway in the garage tonight. I'm gonna get up under here and get this sway bar out. And I gotta tighten up these lights, so I'm probably just gonna, I don't know, I was thinking about taking them off for this run. I didn't want to bash them, but I think I'll be okay, so I'm just gonna tighten them up, make sure they don't move around on me. This one got pretty loose from that, this one got pretty loose from that trail. So yeah, we'll go out and see how we do, and I'll take you along with me, as always. You know, we'll go have a good time and see what happens. So that's it. So I'm gonna get on here and get this out. Alright guys, so my hidden receiver hitch, kind of one issue is that it sits kind of far back there, which is not, you know, that big of a deal, just as long as I can get something in there. I ended up having to trim it up a little bit. I kind of took a little bit more off of here and some down here, and so now I got this deal here. I really like using this in case I got to get, you know, pulled out of somewhere. It's really firm and good. So I got it to where it fits, so that goes in first, and then this pretty much sits right about here with the fender, and I'm okay with that because no matter kind of what way it pulls, it won't really, or I mean sorry, the bumper, it won't really pull on the bumper, so I'm good with that. And then I made it to where this guy will go all the way in. It was hitting on that gusset there, but now it'll slide all the way in, and I can get the pin in, so that's good. So this is another potential pull point and or jack point. So if I were to get into a situation where I needed to jack the front up, I could put my, you know, my high lift up under here, and I could jack it up. It'd be sketchy, you know. I mean, anytime you use the high lift, it's sketchy. You know, just be careful with those. I tested it out last night, and it does work, and it did lift the front up. But you know, now at least I can get the pin in, and if I have to, you know, I can get, you know, I can get the jack up under here as good as I have to, and you know, when you're on the trail, or you know, strap a wheel and lift it up by the wheel, something like that. So got to get creative. So I got a bunch of different straps and stuff, so not really worried about that. I tightened up the lights, both of them plural, and then I removed that sway bar, so that's out of the way. So I should have, I know it's open, but I should have a little bit of flex. That way I can, you know, keep all the wheels on the ground and hopefully not have too much issue. So I'm gonna try it. Just, I think it might be fun, just to at least give it a try. I know I'm gonna be like hating it, because I've always, when I've wheeled, I've always had at least one locking axle, usually the rear. But you know what I mean. I don't want to. I don't know. I want to weld this one, but I want to give myself a little more time. I don't want to get in there because it's on Friday and I only have a few hours each night. So I don't know. I'll either weld it or get a mini spool. I'm not sure yet, but the only thing with the mini spool is that at least, you know, it doesn't tear up the carrier if I ever want to take it out, which I'll probably never want to take it out, but I might. You never know. So, but that's all. Yeah, so I'm curious to see how much better it is. Probably not much with, you know, 373 versus 410s or 411s or whatever. I know it should help a little bit with the cross speed. I know it helps, you know, just normal driving, but it should, you know, make my cross speed a little bit less. Probably not, you know, way noticeable, but it should help. So we'll see how it is on Friday. I'll take you guys with me and we'll go check out the trail and see how this big sucker does. See if I can keep, you know, at least 2 wheels on each axle on the ground so that I can propel myself forward. So that is all. I'm gonna wrap it up for the night and catch you guys tomorrow. Maybe we'll do something. I don't really have much more to do. I want to get an SWR meter and test my CB antenna and stuff out and make sure it's good, but I don't have one, so I don't know. I probably know somebody that does. I'll figure it out and test it. I mean, I only use the thing for the trail. I know I don't want to damage my radio, but at the same time, I only use it like, you know, every once in a while sparingly. So and it worked the other day, so, but we'll see. I mounted the antenna different. I showed you that last night, but anyway, that is all. I appreciate you guys, and you guys take care. Alright guys, welcome back into the garage here. It is another night. It is Wednesday night. I think it's Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday night. So yeah, so what I decided to do, since I'm doing some little night wheeling, I've kind of always wanted to have some rock lights. So I did a little research, and I found some LEDs that I could get off the internet, but it seems like people are having a hard time getting those delivered to them, and I don't know how good they would have held up. So you know, I saw a write-up on Way of Life. It's a Jeep deal, so if you haven't checked out Way of Life, check it out. They have awesome wheeling videos. So the dude he does, him and his old lady, I guess they do the videos, but anyways, they're really cool. So I guess he did a little write-up where he went to Walmart and he got these platinum burners, and so I don't think he used the LEDs. I think he used like the 55 watt. They're just like driving regular halogens. But I wanted to go, when I went there they didn't have those, I guess I should say, they didn't have them. So they had some other ones, some like wider LEDs, kind of like long, and they had, I don't know, like 10 or 15 in a row, probably like 10 in a row. But then they had these, they're kind of smaller, they're just kind of little pods. And I decided to get them, so it was 24 bucks for each box, which I don't think is too bad. And then if I break one, I'll just go to Walmart and get another one, and it ain't really a big deal. And it looks okay. So let's open them up and see what we got here. Alright, so I don't know, I guess overall, I mean, it looks pretty. I mean, I don't know how hard the lens is. It probably got hit pretty good with a rock, it would break, but I guess I ain't really expecting too much. The housing, I don't know if it's metal or not. I mean, I know this is metal. Maybe there's some kind of composite, but I don't know. It seems decently sturdy, I guess, you know, enough to work as a rock light. You know, I'm not expecting anything great. I just want it to light up underneath the vehicle and not spend a whole bunch of money on stuff. It does come with wiring and a switch, and that's just for the one set. What I think I'm going to do, and another reason why I went with the LEDs is because, you know, I don't really need that thick a wire because they don't really draw too much current. I've checked out my fuse panel here, and it looks like I'm using all of my relays. I think I ended up using this relay for the AC, for the vintage air. That's what I think I used it for, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm using it for something. So anyways, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull my power off of my fuse box here, so you can see, like, I've got everything labeled somewhere, but I have open spots. So I have some open ones here, and I've got some open ones down up in there. So I just have to run some wires up into here and then down to my rock lights wherever I may put them. But I'm gonna need a relay, so I'm gonna have to figure out where I want to mount a relay. So I have another spot open over here where I could add a relay, and then it will kind of keep it in this general vicinity. Sorry, let me back out. I have another spot where I could put a relay, and I have an extra one of these 30 amp relays over here in my box somewhere. Let's see. These ones are for the, these are for the T20. Are these extras? I think these are extras. The 20, but anyways, all this wiring stuff, but you know, you never know when you're gonna need it. So anyways, let's see here. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna pull one of these off. Yeah, there's a little plug there. Pull one of these off and make it work for what I'm doing. And I end up picking up a little bit of this primary wire. This is the 16 gauge action. So yeah, that's all. So what I'm thinking about doing is, I think I want to do 2 in the front and 1 like midsection, and then 1 kind of towards the rear. I don't really want to mount it there. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get up under here and look around and figure out where I want to mount it. So when I figure that out, I'll bring you back in and we'll talk about it a little bit. Alright guys, it's like midnight. I just kind of rolled the truck back a little bit because it's too loud to start, but I'll flip on these lights so you can kind of see what I got going on. I'll show you tomorrow how I position them, but the fronts kind of come down on each side, and then I got one in the middle that kind of shines onto the diff, or I mean the transfer case, because it's kind of the low point in the middle, and then I got one that kind of comes down on the rear end since it's the low point in the back. So let me fire these up and show you them. Alright, so here it is. It's still kind of light out here, so, but I think we'll be able to see rocks pretty good. Coming up, tomorrow I'll show you a little bit better around the side, but Alright, that's it. I better wrap it up. Alright guys, it's Thursday. So want to get in here. I gotta check underneath, make sure everything's cool, but I did want to show you these lights where I positioned them finally. So I got this one here, and it points down to the transfer case, and then the one on the back here, it is here. I cracked the housing and pulled the light out when I was rolling on the creeper, and I rolled over it and I pulled one of the wires. I had to fix that. But anyways, so it points down on the rear end. So I figure my two low points back here are this rear end and the transfer case, so I want to be able to see them if I'm you know, on a rock or whatnot, you know, make sure I don't have any issues. And then I put these front ones right there. I used one of the bolts, the far inside bolt, for the inner fender well. I don't know if you can see it that good. But anyways, and then the other one on the same side. So I did a little night video last night. They're pretty decently bright at night, and you know, typically when you're wheeling in the dark, it's pretty damn dark, and so any kind of lighting you have underneath will definitely help. So with that being said, we will see how it does tomorrow. So I'm just gonna get up under here, make sure I didn't miss anything. All my wiring, you can see here, it's been loomed, and I got it ran up here. So, you know, I did use most of the factory wiring that it came with, just because like they're LEDs and they have really low amp draw. So I wasn't really concerned about it. Now I did run a relay. I'll take you up there and show you that, and I ran my own wiring for that off of my fuse box. So I'll pop the hood and show you what I got, but I'm going to take a quick peek under here first, and then we'll move it over to the engine bay. Now to bring you in and show you a little bit what I got going on in here. The switch I'm using is this deal. It did not come with the kit. I have a couple of these that I'm going to be running together. I want to add another one for my 4x4 lights. Right now they're just connected to the high beam switch, just because, you know, I mean, I only drive this one and go off-road really. So anyways, but what I want to do, I mean, I taped it all up to where everything's cool, but I want to find like some kind of, or make some kind of nice switch plate and put, you know, like 3 or 4 switches together. And in the future, if I gotta, you know, switch something, I can have like 4 switches that are all together and do some nice little labels and stuff for them. So I don't exactly know. I may, this fuel gauge is going to get relocated to here one of these days, and then I'll have that freed up. So I'm not sure if I'm going to like put it in the ashtray to where I can close it, or if I just make like a plate, you know, that, you know, curves around, you know, that, you know, right there. Anyways, so that's kind of my thinking. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'll think on it, but yeah, anyways, no rush the project. So then out here, I actually that little 5 amper right there, where's it at? Right there. I ran the wire out. I used 16 gauge, and then I ran it. I hitched a ride in one of these looms that went over here, and then you can see it kind of breaks off a little bit here, and then it comes over. So there's my feed. I ended up using a relay outside of my little relay panel here, just because the relay, these relays, I have the plugs for them, the water type plugs, but I didn't have a big enough wire. I wanted 16 anyway, so I have these laying around. They work well, so I put that up in there, and then I got these go to the lights right here, so they kind of come down here, and then or actually one goes down here back there, and then one comes up here, and everything is all loomed, and it goes to the 2 lights up here. So the 4 lights are all running off this relay with a 16 gauge. I put a 5 amp fuse. I mean, I really don't know. I don't think that those lights on all 4 of them probably pull a couple amps, maybe. I mean, I wouldn't think they pull too much. So anyways, it's working out, and then I ran the switch through the firewall there. I've got a hole that I've taped up with some just some of that Reflectix tape, and I just put a hole in the middle and ran it through there just until I can figure out a more permanent deal. I don't know. I want to, like I said, I want to do a switch plate somewhere nice, but right now, I don't know where. So that is all. That is my routing. That is what I got going on here. So hopefully my wires hold up and everything, and we have a fun night tomorrow. But I'll wrap this video up here. Oh, look, check it out. I found this in the truck. Look all you want, but please don't touch my busted old truck. My busted old primer truck. Anyway, so that's also, I'll get this video wrapped up tonight, and then tomorrow we will we'll get into some nice wheeling, and I'll bring the 2 GoPros and this camera, and we'll make a nice little piece. It'll be good. So you guys take care, have a good night. See you tomorrow. Maybe Saturday morning, I don't know. It might be take me a little while to make a video. So that is all. Take care.